later, design expert Kelly Edwards has tips to refresh and update your home.
Oh, when you think of that romantic dinner, wine and cheese is always part of the festivities. Maybe a hot bubble bath. There's no secret that the pairing of these two together is what needs to happen. But there is a science behind the pairing of wine and cheese, and there's really one science guy I know that can make this all happen for us. It's Dan Kohler.
Beautiful.
Nice to have you here with us, Dan. Yes.
You know, Valentine's Day is coming up, and I think we've all been there before where you think, I want to do something really special for a special someone in my life. I'm going to plan a wine and cheese platter. And then you go to your refrigerator and you realize it's amateur hour at home.
Right.
And you don't know what to put on a board together. You don't know how to pair things. So I thought we'd really walk through the science of why wine and cheese go well together so that I can help you guys at home make a killer Valentine's Day this year.
Great. Do you and Helmut, Susan, have any Valentine's Day plans?
Actually, we're going to St. Bart's.
Well, you have some really great wine and cheese there.
There's great wine and cheese there.
I feel left
Wow. We're just going to Dan's house.
You are?
But you have wine and cheese, perfect.
Why does the chemical makeup of wine go so well with the cheese?
This is, to me, what's so fascinating. We should look at them individually. So let's start out with cheese. Cheese, as you know, mostly is fat and protein. And when you start to eat a lot of fats and proteins, they coat the inside of your mouth, and you get something that can feel a little slimy, can feel a little slippery. It's extra lubricated. And on the other end of the spectrum, when we're talking about wines, wines are made up of a lot of things, but there's acid and there's tannin. And tannin is an astringent. And astringents are things that make you pucker. And actually what's chemically happening on your tongue when you drink something that is an astringent, it binds to the saliva and it makes your saliva clump up and solidify, leaving you with a completely dry feeling in your mouth and your gums. And that can be a problem if you have too much of it at once.
Well, that doesn't sound nice at all.
Wait, does that ever happen?
Why is that a problem?
All right, so what happens when you pair the together? Like,
Well, we all know the old adage, opposites attract, right? So if we have something like cheese or something that's very fat heavy that coats the inside of your mouth and lubricates it a lot, what you want is something that's going to continuously strip that off so that there's an interplay between the foods you're eating and drinking. It's the reason if you order a steak and a great glass of Bordeaux, you don't down the whole glass of Bordeaux and then eat the steak.
You don't?
You take a bite of Mark,
Something new
Mark,
every day
I'm
here.
trying to help you here. I'm really trying to help you here.
It's really good.
You take a sip of wine, you eat a bite of steak. You take a sip of wine, and actually, wine becomes more astringent as you take each sip, helping your mouth keep a clean coating. It's really amazing biologically.
Okay, so can you walk us through what you chose and why? Because we're all sampling up
Please
here.
do.
and
I don't
they're
even know
really,
I don't know if I'm doing the right
all I
cheese
know
with
is
the right wine.
it's all working.
I'm glad it's all working.
Yeah.
It should, because that's what I aimed for today. So when we talk about cheeses today, I've got on the soft end, this is a Vacherin. Then in the semi-soft, I have a Gruyere. And then over here on the hard end, I've got Pecorino. I chose two wines. I chose a Syrah for the red and a Sauvignon Blanc for the white. And these all really go well together on a board. So if you're looking to make something for your honey this year, this is a perfect place to start.
Is that like a guaranteed happy ending?
Guaranteed.
Yes.
That is guaranteed.
That's
Tony.
guaranteed. How do we do
I'm
this
happy.
like at home? So I can't.
Yeah. It's sometimes confusing, but there's a great team out there of molecular biologists who were developing some software for mapping genes and molecules, but they found that their software was also perfect for mapping the relationships between cheese and wine. So they put it up online. It's called wineandcheesemap.com, and it is absolutely brilliant. That's how I built this for you today.
So it's basically through an app?
It's a website. You can pull it up on your phone or anything. And we've got some video of it. It's really fun to play with. You bring it up.
What?
It
That's
looks
gonna
very
tell- that
confusing.
doesn't mean anything.
It looks incredibly dense, but then you type whatever wine in there. So I said, I'm gonna start with a Syrah. That's what I have at home. All of a sudden the map changes. You see the middle of the wheel right there. We're gonna zoom in, and you've got Syrah right in the middle. Now all of the spokes are cheeses that this wine matches perfectly with. So I started scrolling through. I saw that there was a Vacherin on there, and then eventually when I kept going around, I thought, oh, that's interesting. There's a Gruyere over here on the other side. So once we got to the Gruyere, I said, well, what else goes with a Gruyere? Now you can click on the cheese. All of a sudden, the cheese is in the middle of the wheel, and you see what reds, what white wines, and what other cheeses it matches with. So suddenly you can start building an entire board for yourself at home. So when I found the Gruyere, I found that it matched with the Sauvignon Blanc. I clicked on the Sauv Blanc, and then I found it matched with the Pecorino. So all of a sudden, you have something that's totally in the same universe together.
Okay, this is amazing. The interweb has changed people's lives. I mean, you could do this, and people will think you're a sommelier, and you're
Exactly.
like.
Yeah.
You're a fromagier. Is
Exactly.
Is that a word?
It absolutely
A
is.
fromagier and a sommelier. Well, we know, Susan, that you and Helmut are both fromagiers and sommeliers. And Helmut is a world-class chef. We know you're celebrating Valentine's Day in St. Bart's, but we would like to gift you with something to celebrate a little earlier. So we're giving you your favorite wine, Pinot.
Beautiful bottle.
Oh, cheese and some crackers in there.
Oh, this is
Perfect.
gorgeous. Thank you so much.
And basically, we know we've officially driven you to drink, so that's what we're doing.
That's right.
And Susan, I want you to know the cheese that we picked is a Robiola, and that's I found it through that website. It matches perfectly with the Pinot Noir.
Really? Oh, thank you. This is great. Thank
changer.
you.
It's a game changer.
We threw some Ritz crackers and animal crackers in the bottom of that.
Pretty fancy.
We also have some
Cracker
Boone's
Jack as
Farm and
well.
Velveeta in case that doesn't work out for you. Thank you so much. Cheers.
You guys stick around because next we are kicking off our biggest giveaway ever. It's the second annual Home and Family Ford Edge giveaway with the president of Schultz Ford, Mr. Richard Bazzi.